we are doing next. Started with Git. So now I know that I will be storing my code here. So let me just come here. So this is where I am. So I am looking into implementation of DevOps. And when I say that I'm looking into implementation of DevOps, I'm basically looking into this guy. So here I can see that if I maximize this a bit. So there was a plan that I have to implement DevOps. Now I went ahead and I did coding. So I've written the code and I'm saying that continuously you write the code and commit the code to GitHub, because until and unless you commit the code to GitHub, it will not be visible to everyone. Now, once you commit the code, I am going to do build, test, and release. And this build, test, and release is what is going to happen automatically with a CI tool. So when I say CI, what do I mean by that? So continuous integration refers to a build and unit testing of a, it's a build and unit testing stage of a software. Every revision that is committed trigger an automated build and test. Means whenever your developer is committing a change, automatically that code will be built. So when I say built, it will be compiled. If there are some syntax errors or there are some other errors, so that will be tested, that will be checked. And second, it will go with unit testing. So you can't say unit testing, rather you should say integration testing. So as a developer, suppose I'm a developer, so I'll write the code and I will put it in the GitHub. As and when I put it in the GitHub, the build automation tool or the CI tool will pick that latest code, compile it, run it against automated test cases, and keep it ready for deployment. Now, why is this process needed? So think of a scenario that I have to deploy a software, or a customer has come to me and he says that this software is to be deployed in 3 weeks. Okay. Now the developer takes initial 2 weeks to develop this code. Now the problem is my other guys, like my engineer, my security team, my testing team, my deployment team, and all the other people who are working in the later stage will only get 1 week, and obviously the timelines will fail. So I'm looking at continuous integration, so that I'm asking my developer, whatever change you have done, it can be a big change, it can be a small change, it can be a minor change, but whatever change you have done, you push that change to GitHub. The moment you push that change to GitHub, automatically my test cases will run, automatically my compilation will happen, automatically a result will be generated, and this will be pushed to my GitHub. So something like this. So a developer is developing a code, he's pushing it to source code. The moment he pushes to source code, automatically the build test will happen. And based on this, whether it's a success or a failure, a report will be generated and it will be sent back to this developer. The benefit is that the developer immediately comes to know whether it is a good one, the code is a good one, adheres to all the coding standards, or it is not a good one. Based on that, he gets a report, good or bad, and then the code is ready to be deployed. So I kind of complete my CI process. But in case I do not do this, okay, let me say the problem is detected, but it is detected at the later stage. So I land into problem, because now I don't have time to fix the issues, because developer took all the time. And even if the testing team is finding out some bug, it will be too late for me to fix it. And here, when I talk about DevOps, I'm continuously talking about time to market. I'm talking about quality. I'm talking about customers' satisfaction. Because unless and until you deliver a quality product to the customer is not going to be happy. And here, customer happiness, customer quality is playing a very important role. So when I talk about CI, there are many tools available in the market. So I can pick any one of the tool and start my work. So if I come here and say which are the top 20 tools which is there in the market, you can see Buddy, you can see Jenkins, you can see TeamCity, you can see GoCD, you can see Bamboo, GitLab, GitCI, Circle CI, Travis CI, CodeShip. So there are hundreds and thousands of tools which are available in the market. But I will be picking up Jenkins. Now, the obvious question is, why are you going with Jenkins? So I'll go and look for Jenkins market share. So I can see 71% of the market is occupied by Jenkins. Means the people who are using Jenkins, out of 100, 71% people are using Jenkins. Now, why Jenkins? The very obvious question will come is, why am I using Jenkins? What is the good thing which comes to me when I start using Jenkins? Now, there are multiple benefits which I get when I start using Jenkins, but most important ones are that Jenkins is written in Java. Okay. Now, Java undoubtedly is one of the most popular coding language which is available in the market. So there is a lot of community support available. Okay. Now, when I say community support, Jenkins is free of cost. You don't have to buy any license to get started. So it is free of cost. It is lightweight, means it's not very heavy. It is supported by Java. And more importantly, it can be integrated with almost all the tools available in the market. So Jenkins can help you to commit the code, build the code, test, stage, deploy. So basically, whatever work you want to do at the end of the day, Jenkins will help you to do all those things. And this is what I'm needing. I need a tool which can be integrated with almost everything. So if you see here, Jenkins is integratable with Maven, with Git, Nagios, Ansible, Puppet, Selenium. So whatever tool you think of, it can be integrated with that particular tool. And this makes Jenkins very, 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 very valuable, because there can be a company who's saying that, okay, I am using X tool. The other company will say I'm using Y tool. So what my Jenkins is doing is, it is helping me to integrate with all the other tools. How is it happening? So in Jenkins, I have something called Jenkins plugin. So with the help of plugin, I will be able to almost integrate with every tool. So I'll just now show you, but just giving you a background that with the help in Jenkins plugin, you get everything, whatever you want. You want to integrate with Selenium, you want to integrate with AWS, you want to integrate with Docker, whatever you want, you can integrate it with. So this makes my Jenkins very, very valuable. Now, let's get started with Jenkins. Now, to start with Jenkins, I will come to the official website of Jenkins, which is jenkins.io. When I come to jenkins.io, I can start using the features of Jenkins. So this is jenkins.io. You can go to download, or you can come to documentation first. Let's read about how to install Jenkins or things like that. So when I say installing Jenkins, it is very much telling that, okay, installing Jenkins on a Linux machine. Let me come here like this. So it says, if you read here, it says, for a good performance, you need 4 GB RAM and 50 GB of storage in your disk space. So if you get this disk space, you should go with this. But in case you don't have, bare minimum, you should have this much, which is 256 MB of RAM, and you should have 1 GB of drive space at least. But this is on the hardware side. If you come on the software side, it says you should have the latest version of Java running, or a stable version of Java running. You should have a web browser, and you should have Windows operating system or Linux operating system or Mac, whatever you have, but it should support. So the prime requirement is hardware. Okay. The second requirement is Java should be installed. So let me go to my AWS console, and here I'll start my work. So let me come here and say EC2. In EC2, okay, more importantly, anyone having any questions till this point of time? I just started with Jenkins. So anybody who has any questions related to Jenkins?
Just clarify more or less exactly why we use the Jenkins.
Yeah, I just now told Jenkins is a part of your CI/CD, and this is a CI tool, continuous, which will help you to integrate. Okay, so let
Because unable to hear your voice.
No, actually, we can't hear your voice.
Okay, guys, I had a bad internet connection because of which I got dropped. So I've joined back. Let me just start sharing my screen again. So this is what I was trying to do. I was trying to delete something which I already had. So let me just go ahead and delete this first. Then I told I'll come back to my EC2 dashboard. And here I told I will go to my running instance. So as of now, if I come here, I can see you are saying about Jenkins, there is a disconnect. Yes, it got disconnected in that phase. So there, if you come here, you can see there is no instances. Whatever I had, I've cleaned everything. So I'm going to launch a new instance. Okay. And to launch a new instance, I'll create everything from scratch. So this is the place where I came, name and tag. So I will just give it a name as Jenkins server. I will scroll a little bit down and it says, what operating system would you like to work with? So I'll say I will work with Amazon Linux. It is free of cost. Then it says 64-bit. I'm saying, yes, it is okay. I will go with 64-bit. Instance type, I'll stick to again T2 micro. It is free tier eligible, comes with 1 core CPU and 1 GB RAM, which is okay for my requirement. In key pair, I'm going to create a new key pair. I will give it a name as DevOps KP. DevOps KP. I'll use a PPK key because I am going to create a PPK, or I'll use putty to connect. So I'll just go ahead and say create key pair. This is what I have downloaded, a PPK key, and this is what I have chosen here. I will again go a bit down. Here it says in networking, what are you going to choose? So I will again create a new security group. Okay. Or if you want, you can use your existing security group. So in the new security group, I can see the name is by default coming as Launch Wizard 51. So I'll just change this name. I will go with some existing security group. Okay. Or
we can use the same
yes,
KPR as well.
Yes, you can use all the same stuffs. There's no requirement that you should go ahead and change it again. But in case you want to create a new one, you can. So I'm using an old security group here. And all the way I'll go down. It gives me 8 GB of storage, which is okay. And every other thing looks okay to me. And I'll simply go ahead and say, I would like to go ahead with this particular instance. One second, let me pull it here. Everything looks okay. I'll just say launch an instance. Now this launch instance will start and it will launch an instance for me. One very important thing which you must see is that when you create this instance, okay, here you go back to your dashboard. In this dashboard, go to security group. In the security group, if you remember, I have just now chosen this DevOps security group to create my instance. In this DevOps security group, go inside and make sure, go here, edit inbound rule. And if you wait a second. So this is what I have right now. SSH and HTTP port is open. Suppose I want to connect to Jenkins. So I have to come here and say add rule, custom TCP, make sure that you add this port number 8080. So 8080 is the default port number for Jenkins. Okay. Make sure that you choose it as anywhere from IPv4 and you say Jenkins default port, Jenkins port. And you can go ahead all the way down here and say save the root. So this is mandatory. If the port is not open, you will face problems that you're not able to connect. So please make sure that your ports are open. Mainly port number 22, port number 8080 and port number 80. All these three ports must be open. Once it is done, you can go back to your EC2 dashboard and make sure that your instance is up and running. Why can't we use Windows or other? Why always on AWS? I want that everything should be there on the cloud. If you put everything on your Windows machine, there will be a time when your Windows machine will start running slow. Like if I come here and say Kubernetes hardware requirement, okay, hardware requirement. See here, it is asking you for 4-core CPU, 16 GB RAM. If you have 32 GB RAM or anything like that on your local machine, go ahead and do. But I don't have that much. Mine is only 8 GB RAM. So there will be a time when if I keep installing everything on my local, my Windows system will kind of go down. Second is most of the servers which run on real-time environment, most of them run on Linux. So I prefer using Linux because I have already told that 90% of the servers, 70-80% of the servers which are running on Linux servers. But again, if you want to go with Windows, your call. You can go ahead and install it on Windows. No problem will be there. Anyhow, let me come back here and just say the instance running. I can see one. This is the instance which I just now created, and I can see Jenkins server running T2 micro. This is initializing, but it's okay. Now I'll take this, take the IP address, come all the way here and say putty. Now I don't have putty here. So wait, the putty is not here. So I'll directly try to connect. Okay, this is a different laptop. So in this laptop, I don't have putty. So I'll directly try to connect here. Okay, connect. This is the IP address. This is the EC2 address. You can go ahead and connect. So this is a different laptop I'm using, and hence I don't have putty installed here, and I don't have admin rights to install putty. That's another problem. Anyhow, so this is what I have brought, the cloud console, and here I will try to install everything. So it is establishing a connection. Make sure that port 22 is open. If port 22 is open, then only it will be able to establish a connection. Now let me increase the font size a little bit. So it says that you have installed AWS, but you need some packages to be updated. So you can come here and say sudo yum update -y. So this is the command which I use to update everything. So it will take some time and it will update everything one by one. In fact, it will take a good amount of time. So this good amount of time, we can go ahead and we can open how to install Jenkins. So here again.
So what update it is?
It is system update. System update. So every time Jenkins will release some new updates. So simply, in case it is asking you to update, go ahead and update it. So this is where I was. So I am going with 256, 1 GB RAM. Now, there are few commands which I should take care or I should keep in my mind before going ahead with Jenkins. So the first thing is Java. Okay. Now, if you are following tech news, simply sometime back you had a problem of log4j. So log4j was one of the biggest problem which we faced in our Java world. And after that, there are many packages which have been made as vulnerable or they will simply not support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Java 8, though it is saying Java 11, but I'll still go with Java 8 and I'll recommend you also should go with Java 8. So you can see all the packages has been installed. I'll become a root user, sudo su hyphen. I will say host name and I will say Jenkins server. The spelling is wrong, I think. Host name Jenkins server. And again, I'll say sudo su hyphen. So you can see my machine root @ Jenkins server. So this is my machine, good to start. What am I going to do first? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install Java. Yum install Java -1.8 star. Okay, -y. Make sure that you install Java by using this command only. I am interested in Java 8 because if you install any other version of Java, then you end up in problem. You'll say, sir, this is not running, this is not working. Make sure that you install Java by this method only. This is Java 8 and this is a stable version of Java.
Sir, when we tried to install Git, no, that time we didn't use the star mark. Now why?
Because I precisely knew that which version I want to, or I'm okay with the latest version. But here, I don't know the latest version. That's why I gave star. So star is a wild character.
So directly it will take onto the updated version.
Yes, it will directly take the updated version.
Okay, thank you.
Show you that. See here, you can use for Git also. There's no problem. But again, I have no restriction. Okay, this software or this software will, this version should only come. So I just gave it like this. I'll show you again. Anyhow, I have to install Git here. So just wait for a minute. It will get installed.
Sir, apart from this to connecting the cloud mission, I got some error yesterday. I forgot what is the exact issue. Apart from this port number, anything else is missing?
No, generally port number is only something which is needed to connect to cloud. Apart from that, I don't think there should be an error. So you need to let me know the error because directly without knowing, I can't.
Okay.
So I have installed Java. So I'll simply come here. This is Java -version. So I want to check which version of Java has been installed. And I can see here 1.8.0.332. So that's why I went ahead and I installed Java like this. Java -1.8 star. So I don't know what is the latest version, 322, 323, 334. So the latest version keeps changing. So I don't know. But I'm sure that I want to install Java 8. That's why I have written Java -1.8. Similarly, in this scenario, let me say I want to install Git. So if you say Git and you know a particular version, you give the name. If you don't know, give a star or just put it like this, yum install Git -y. It will go ahead and pick the latest version of Git and it will install it for you. So see here, Git, what is the version? So let me just check Git -version. You can see 2.37.31. Even if it installs 2.36, I don't have problem. 2.3, I don't have a problem. But if I'm not picking the latest version of Java 8, I have a problem. That's the reason I gave Java -1.8 star and I went with that piece of stuff. Anyhow, so Java is installed. So this prerequisite thing is done. Java prerequisite is done. Now, Ubuntu, Debian, how will I understand which operating system or how should I install? So come here. If you go to this place, cd/etc. Okay. Here you have a file, ss OS releases. Now, if you go to this file, it is inside etc folder. There is a file called OS releases. So it says the name of the software is Amazon Linux, 2nd version, and it is like CentOS, REHL, and Fedora. Means all the commands which work on CentOS, REHL, and Fedora will work here. Okay, and it says it is given a name as Amazon Linux 2, but inside it is like CentOS, REHL, and Fedora. So now I understood, okay, this is REHL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, or Fedora. So let me find it out. What commands will run here? So Debian Ubuntu, no, this will not run. Fedora, yes, this can run, or you can go ahead and use this Red Hat CentOS. Now here it says, let's go with long-term support or weekly release. So I'll go with LTS or long-term support. So this is the first line which I'll copy. This is the first statement I want to copy. So finally, here what it is doing, it is trying to create a Jenkins repo. So let me take that, run here. One second, let me copy it first.
All, sir, you're also using the key that automatic type.
Tell me
What
again.
what was it is?
Tell me again, what is that?
You are using some key, no, for previous commands and all. It will coming automatically.
Yes, see, I showed you that, see, if you use upward arrow, wait, I'll show you on screen keyboard. See, if you use your upward arrow. If you use downward or arrow, latest command will come. So upward arrow and lower arrow is what I use.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anyhow, I want to install this guy, and this is what I want to copy. So Control C. Let me see it is copying or not. Let me come here. Wait. Here it is copying. Control A, Control C. Paste. Copy. So repo has been created. The first statement says create a repo. So that is done. The second step says import this thing. There is a key, Jenkins key. Again, the installation pattern will be different. So whatever is the installation pattern, you have to go by that. So right click, paste it here. So Jenkins.io key is also generated. The third step here is, it says sudo yum upgrade. So let me type sudo yum upgrade. Now you do not have to remember the commands. Okay, there is no requirement for you to remember the commands. Don't say unable to hear, full network disconnecting. Can you try to rejoin? I can't help it. If others are able to hear, you are not able to alone hear, then it is a network issue from your end. So just rejoin once. I can't do anything here. So the next is, do not run this command. I don't want Java 11. I have already installed Java 8. So please do not install this. This is not required. I am going to install Jenkins by this command, yum install Jenkins. But yum install Jenkins is this, yum install Jenkins -y. So now I'll go ahead and install Jenkins. Before that, I had other things to be done. So I'm just trying to install Jenkins. You can see here slowly it is going ahead and installing everything. Okay, now Jenkins is installed. Now how to check that? Service Jenkins status. So it says Jenkins is loaded, means it is present, but it is inactive and dead, means it is not running. So I will come here and say service Jenkins start. Now question can come, why the command is like this? Now the command is like this because the people who designed this tool, they made it like this. So we don't have any say here. So they designed it and we are simply following it. So here I have just started the service. It will take some time. It will check all the background thing, whether it is working or not. And if everything is working, it will start the service of Jenkins. Another 1 minute or even 30 seconds in that, it will start. Any questions at this point of time?
Sir, by learning Jenkins parallelly, we can work with other tools also, right?
Yes, yes.
The interface remains same, right, sir? Almost.
Almost 60 to 70%. It will remain same.
Okay.
Okay. So this is done. I can see OK. So the moment I see OK, I will again go back and say service Jenkins status. So I can see it is saying Jenkins is active and running. So I'm okay with this and I can start my work. Now, this is the work which I have done on the background. Now I want to run it on the front end. So to run it on the front end, you can close this guy, come back to your instance, which is this, take the IP address. So whatever IP address you got, you take the IP address of that. Don't take the private IP. Take the public IP. So this is my public IP. Take it, come here, paste it here, and say :8080. So there is a colon followed by 8080. Enter. Now everything if you have done till this point of time, Jenkins will start. So it says that this is the place where you will find your password. Go ahead and get your password. So this is the place. And this is where I will go. I will say cat and I will paste this thing, paste. So you can see this is my password. Just copy this and come and paste it here. Continue. Again, if you, okay, the copy paste has not worked due to some reason. Let me just check what happened. Just do a right click, copy, come here, paste it, continue. Okay, looks everything is correct. Now here it says, will you install plugins or should I go with the suggested plugins? I will say go with the suggested plugins. Just click on this and it will start its work. So basically
that password is for use it for one time or
it is one-time password only. It will give you a window to install your new credentials. So here all the basic or the normal things, like generally you will be using Git and all, right? So the plugins for those are getting installed here. Again, another 2 to 3 minutes and slowly all the plugins will get installed. Again, depends on your internet speed. If it's great, then it will be done in a fraction of seconds. And if it is okay, then also it will take some time and it will install everything. Once it is installed, it will bring you to a screen where it will ask you whether you want to give me a username or password or not. So give a username, anything is okay. I'll give it as admin, pass123, pass123. Full name for me, I'll give it as admin. And the username, the email ID also, I'll give a random one. You should give the correct one because in future, if you forget your password or have any problem, you can raise a request with your email ID. Anyhow, I have given a random email ID as admin@gmail.com. Now it says your Jenkins is running at this page. I say, okay, I'm okay, save and finish. Now it says Jenkins is ready. Let's get started. So, okay, start using Jenkins. So it will set up the Jenkins, and this is my Jenkins screen, or this is my Jenkins homepage. And if you see at the top, I'm logged in as admin user. Now, whatever you do here, you either say it's a job or it's an item. So job is more appropriate word according to me. So I'll simply come here and say, I want to create a job. Now, when you create a job, the first thing what you need to do is you have to give a name to this. I'll say my first job. Now, there are many types of projects. I'll come to them one by one. As of now, I'm interested in this guy, freestyle project. So what is a freestyle project? So this is a central feature of Jenkins. Jenkins will build, means compile. Jenkins will build your project combining any SCM. So you can integrate with Git, GitHub, whatever you want, you can integrate it with that. With any build system. So I will integrate it with Maven. So I will integrate with the SCM, a Maven, and this can even be used for something other than the software build, like test, quality testing, deployment. So there are thousands of plugins available, and based on what you want, you can do it, and you should choose freestyle project. This is what I choose. Go ahead and say okay. Now here in description, you say what are you trying to do. So I'll say this is a free text. This is my first project on Jenkins. Okay. There are a few options here. I'll come to them later. I'm interested here in this guy, build. Click on this. In build, I have add build step. Now here, there are multiple ways in which you can work. Ant, Gradle, these are some tools which are helping you to build your project. You can come here and start with the basic one. You say execute shell. I want to execute a shell command, or I want to execute a shell script. So my script will be very simple. I will come here and say echo hello Vikas, and I will say echo today's date is. So I will use a environment variable. So environment variable will come like this. Okay.
Is necessary to put the bin bash on the top?
No, that's not required. It's not a shell script. It's a shell command. So it's a command. So even if you write, there's no problem, but I don't need to write it because I'm just running some script, running some shell commands. Okay, let's see if there is a problem, then we can go ahead and put that. But in case you want, you can write it. There's no problem. I can apply and save the changes. Now here you can see the option to build now. And if you scroll a little bit down, it says no builds, means as of now, there's no output available. So let me go ahead and say build. So it says build schedule, and in some time you will see one job will appear here. Okay, see it ran and it ran successfully. Now I can go inside this, and here I can see console output. And here I can see my content. So the first command is echo hello Vikas. So hello Vikas got printed. Then I said echo today's date is, and this thing got printed. Today's date is, and the entire date Monday. So this UTC time, Monday, August 1st, 14/11/29 UTC 2022. And finally, I got a comment as success. Now, if you see this, this is a green tick. Green tick means it is success. One second. Okay, so this is what I got, a green tick. Assume that I did some mistakes. So back to project. Now I have to change the code. Okay, so I'll go to configure, and in configure, I will go back to my build, and here intentionally I'm putting a problematic stuff. Okay, please stop this annotation. So wait a second. Okay, so I have intentionally introduced a problem here. I have not written it correctly. I said EHO and then I have written it like this. Apply, save. I'll go ahead again and build now again. Now, if you see, another job will run here, but this time with a red mark. And here it says it has failed. So it says it has failed. So let me go to console output and check what went wrong. Console output. And here I can see the build step execute shell marked as failure. Why? EHO command not found. So it says that this is a problem. You are trying to run a command which does not exist. Back to project. Configure. Build statement. And this is what I would like to change it. Apply, save. This time I'll run it again. And it ran. This time if I go inside, it's a green tick, means it went fine and the job is successful.
Sir, we just edited, no? But why it is showing again the third build has been updated, right?
Yes. First was okay, second was having a problem, third was updated, and then
correct. But we have done the edited mode only, no? In the second build
second
only.
build is already done. It is complete. So even if you edit, you are editing for future. The one which is already done, you can't go and edit that. It has already ran with that content. This content is already ran once. So now when you run, you get a new commit, the new build history.
Okay.
Now,
So it's just like a git commit, correct? So when every time we commit, so it's generate a new build or just like similar thing.
yes, but if you see here, no, I am manually building it right now. It is not an automated process. I'll tell you how to automate this, but it's a manual build right now. I'm manually going and clicking on this and it is running. But there are scenarios where I can automate this process. Automate the process in the sense anybody who will commit anything on my GitHub, that will be captured and that will be pushing my code to run. So let me just go back, go to this job, go to where is my project? So back to dashboard. This is my project. Go inside, configure. Here I will go to this build trigger. So until now I was manually running the code. Now I will start with this build periodically. Periodically in the sense every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, every minute I want to run this code. So click on this. So it's asking for a schedule. So I don't know anything about schedule. Click on this. Here it talks about something called schedule. Something it talks about. Not very sure what it is talking about. What should I do? I will come here and I will start. There is a website called Cron Tab Guru. You can find 100 websites, but I personally find this website better. So there is a website called Cron Tab Guru. The first stands for minute, second one for hour, third one for day, fourth one for month, fifth one for day. So if you want that your job should run every 5 minutes, 5 space star space star space star star space star. What does this mean? At every 5 minutes the job will run. So as of now, if you see here, it is 7:47 here. It says the next execution will start at 20:05 and then 20:10, 20:03. But if I make it as 1 every minute, so it says from 20:01, 02, 03. Now I'll say I want to do only in the month of December. So I'll make the month as 12. So it says at every minute, first minute in the month of December. I will say, no, I want to run it at night 23. So it says in the month of December, 23:01 it will start. It will keep running. Then I will say, no, I want to run only from Monday to Friday. So on every day of the week from Monday to Friday in the month of December, it will run. Okay. So you can click on this random and you can generate some random numbers and try to understand what they are talking about. 8 is the month of August. 5 is every 5 minutes. And 0 means from 00 hours. So like this, you click on random and lot of random combinations will be generated and you can start your work. But for me, I want to run every minute. Every minute I want to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every minute it is going to run. So 1948 from 1949 it will start running. So I will do something like that here. Let me come here. If you read all these things, you can read, but I find not that great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can apply and you can save it. Now it says, do you really want to run it every minute? It is saying, I'm saying, okay, don't worry, save it.
Sir, in the real-time scenario, is that my job is going to be visible to everybody or to only to me?
It will depend, man, what access has been given. Suppose you are a developer, then probably other developers will easily be able to see your code.
And then they can easily identify what I did the mistake in my previous job or something like that,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Is there any way to avoid that, sir? Because I don't want
See,
my
there
people
is
to know
something
that
called
what I made the mistake.
secure. See, in project, it will be mostly driven by admin, how the admin wants to give you access. You personally can't do much here. Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
I'm waiting for this 1951. So you can see here that trigger happened here, 2020, 220. Now, if I go inside this job and I go to console output, I can see here it says started by timer. Means there was a change in the timer and it started, and hence this job ran. Now, if I go back and wait for another minute, probably next one more minute, it will run again. So now this job will run in every 1 minute. So I just wait for a minute to see whether it is running or not. In real time, they will use web-based Jenkins or code-based Jenkins. Mostly web-based Jenkins is used. Code-based or the CLI-based is not that frequently used. So it is 2020. Let me see if it is 51. I will come back and refresh this. So if I refresh this, see here, 2021. See here, 2020 it ran, then 2021 it ran. So 2022 it will run again. So now what is happening? It is running every minute because you have scheduled it to run it every minute. Probably you don't want to run it every minute. Okay, let me say there is a backup job and you want to run only in the night. So you can schedule it, you can put a cron expression and you can run it in the night. So like this, the jobs can be scheduled as per your requirement. This is one of the way of triggering the jobs. There are other ways which I'll be talking about later, but this is the easiest way of triggering a job or running a job automatically. 2021. So I'll just wait for this time, 1 minute, and we will move ahead. And it is a recommended way not to put it like this because it keeps running and Amazon will keep you charging for that because it is running in the background. So
Sir, also continuous integration is also going on behind, right?
Only when the code is moved. Continuous integration will only happen when the code is moved. See, 2022, 2021, 2020. Okay, but I definitely don't want to run it like this. So there are two things. Either you can go ahead and change this cron expression, build trigger, remove this. I don't want this. Apply, save. Or you can delete the job or stop the job, whatever is feasible for you. Now you will see the jobs will not run again unless and until you trigger it manually. So this is what we have for today. We started with Jenkins. What is Jenkins? Why I need Jenkins? And then we move to talking about the CI process. How can Jenkins help me there? Then what is Jenkins? How to get started with Jenkins? What is the prerequisite? How to install Jenkins and how to just write your first code. Tomorrow onwards, I'll teach you how to integrate Jenkins with Git, with Maven. There are 10 other tools with which you would like to integrate. So how to integrate all of them together and consolidate everything together and run. Okay, so why Jenkins is called as a CI tool, we will see tomorrow. Any questions?
Can you just repeat? Can you just repeat how to you stop it the Jenkins?
See, to stop it, I just came here, came to my build trigger. This thing was checked. I just unchecked this and I did a apply, save, done.
So you just put enable the schedule you set before.
Yes. Initially, I enabled it. Now I have just disabled it.
So the code which you have used, it is a shell script only, no, sir? The command.
Yes, it's a shell script.
And then why we need only Jenkins? We can directly do it through Git and then push it to GitHub, right?
You can do it. I'm just showing you a first small code. I'm not doing anything right now. Just a small piece of code, 2 lines I'm executing. Obviously, the big things which you are doing, you will do it in your local, put it into Git, then GitHub, and then come here. Because this is not a tool to run your test cases or unit test cases. This is a tool for integration testing kind of work.
Okay. Also, in the beginning of the class, you told us about reset the door for the Jenkins. Can you just quickly tell us? the number of the door 88.
Port number 8080 is what you're talking about?
See, can you remember us the beginning of the class, which door we have to set for Jenkins?
Port number 8080. You can see here, I'm running it here.
When you build the instance.
When I built an instance, I went ahead to my security. I went to my security group, and here I enabled this port number 8080. And I opened it for the entire IPv4 address.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, fine, guys. So we meet tomorrow again and we resume from here. Now, the only request is if you're not running your instance, go ahead and stop it, because if it is running, you end up paying for that.
The documentation is step by step
Yes.
was in GitHub.
Yes, I will share the documentation for this. In fact, I can share it now also. There's no problem here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how to install and all these things will be here. Just let me come up.
Thank you, Vika.
You'll find everything here. I'll just share this link with all of you. So there is something called Jenkins installation document. So it says step by step what you have to do. You can just take from here. I'll put it on the chat window. So whatever I have done till now, you'll find it here. Okay. See you then, guys, tomorrow.